either crazy people or dedicated teachers. Take your choice, okay? Maybe it's the same category, I don't know, all right? But what I want to do today, first, thank you so much for inviting me, Joel and Mauricio, for hosting all this today, making this happen. I want to share with you, I don't have a Panamanian Carnival shirt. Now, if you know the United States map, I'm in Florida right now, but I'm originally from the state of Louisiana. And Louisiana, the biggest city is New Orleans, Nueva Orleans, or whatever you want to call it in Spanish, New Orleans. And in New Orleans, where I grew up, my whole life, we have Carnival. We call it Mardi Gras. So I'll type the word, because we use a French word for that. So that would be like martes, what, gruesa, or gorda is what it means really. It's it has the idea that that Tuesday for Mardi Gras is the last day to do anything fun before we have the 40 days, right? So in my area where I grew up, a lot of people are Catholic. After Mardi Gras, after Carnival, no meat for 40 days, no smoking for 40 days, no beer for 40. I don't know what you don't do for 40 days, okay? Everybody's a little different, but we have Carnival, we have Mardi Gras. And just like in Panama right now, and in Colombia, I'm sure too, this year, this is a big celebration, but there's nothing because they can't have all the people together, right? So I appreciate seeing all the Panamanian dress. That was very pretty. Thank you very much for the welcome also. I want to share, I'm not wearing a Panamanian clothing or shirt, but I have a t-shirt that some of my students, I teach all kinds of students. I teach adults, I teach university students, I taught high school. The youngest I ever taught was second grade. Second grade for us would be 7 years old. I did it in Japan for 1 year. 1 year was enough for me. So for those of you who teach little children, good for you. Good for you. More power to you, okay? I prefer the little children when they're double age, 14, 15 plus. But I want to share my shirt. Some of my students know I like grammar so much, and they always say, "Oh, I'm so afraid to talk around you because you're going to correct my mistake." And you're listening to me. Number one, yes, I'm listening to you. I listen to everybody. Number two, no, I'm not going to correct your mistakes. That would not be polite, okay? But they bought this T-shirt for me. I don't know if you can read that. And it's not true, but it is a little true, okay? You know, if you're a teacher and sometimes, for example, you're a teacher and one of you're teaching little kids, one of your students' parents sends you a note in Spanish, right? Even or in English, but it's in Spanish. You read the letter, you're a teacher, you know how to spell in Spanish, you know good Spanish and not so good Spanish. You read it, you don't say anything, but in your head, you're thinking, oh my God, now I understand why this child is this way, right? No, I'm joking here, but the point is every teacher does it. So my students gave me this shirt. I don't wear this very much because if I go to the supermarket with this shirt, people look at me and think, oh my God, what can I say? So I only wear this in my house. Two good things my students did. They know my favorite color is blue and they got the right size, medium. So maybe their grammar is not so good, but they know about the colors that Keith Folse likes and the right size shirt. So today, we're going to talk about grammar a little bit. And you know, grammar is a really big topic. So many people filled out the Google form, right? You kind of raise your hand did you write in the Google form? We had about 54 people, I believe, who filled out the Google form. And I appreciate that so much. So as you know, as you heard earlier, I do a lot of presentations and usually I prepare a presentation and we just do it. But I thought this week, because I'm the last speaker, then, you know, you did this for 5 days already. So by today, maybe you feel a little more comfortable. And that's why I asked Joel, I said, please ask the teachers to tell me what they want to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen really quickly here. I'll say share screen. Here we go. All right. Now, in your honor, I cleaned my desk. I cleaned my computer. Okay. So let me go first to the Google Doc. Let's go to a Google Doc. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a link in a moment, but I'm going to tell you what people talked about. So here are the top answers. I can't talk about everything you asked me to talk about, but one thing that people said was about teaching Thumbs up. Mauricio, can you see my Google Doc okay? Yeah? Yes? Thanks. All right. So was about teaching grammar without grammar words. That's one thing that people ask me about. People also ask me about how do you teach grammar to children? That was another one. More specifically, people ask me about verbs and verb tenses, a lot of questions about verbs and verb tenses. And people ask me about comparative, that was one. All right. What else? We had a lot about how to get students to connect to English. All right. And then people ask about I ask, well, what's the difficult part about English? And then some people just wrote everything. Okay. Now, you know, I can't teach everything in 2 hours. Okay. So thank you very much for writing everything, but that's a lot. So today I'm going to focus on some things, but I want you to know I read everything that people wrote, and I try to pick something for children, something for adults, because you know we have 70 teachers here today. We have people who teach kindergarten and people who teach adults, people who teach university, people who teach elementary school. So it's a little difficult for me to plan something for a big group like this. I don't mean big like the number of people. I mean there's a variety. So the people who teach little kids maybe want something very different from the people who teach adults. So today I'm going to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of both, okay? And I will say this, I've been teaching for 40 years, 4 plus the 0, long time. So for 40 years, and I go to many teacher conferences. And sometimes I hear someone's doing a talk and I think, oh my God, that would never work with my students. Or sometimes I think, you know, I can't use that idea exactly, but if I take this idea and I change it a little bit, maybe I can do that. So I also read that people wrote, my students have a computer, or my students use WhatsApp, or we don't have any electricity in my school. So there's a lot of variety here of people. I just want to make sure everybody understands that it's a very difficult challenge for me today to do something for everybody. So I'm going to do a little bit for everybody. How's that? All right. So here's what I would like to start with. Now, when I teach online right now because we have COVID, here in the United States, of course. So whenever I start my class, I always start with a Google Doc. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put this in the chat group if I can find the chat. Oh, where'd it go? Where are my chats? Sorry, guys, participants. Thank you. Bear with me 1 second. The screen, this is a very different screen than I'm used to. Chat. Okay. In the chat group, I put a link. Can you click on the link? It will send you to a Google Doc. Can you please go to the Google Doc? So go to the link. When you get there, you will find, everybody look at my screen. You're going to find a lot of blanks, blanks and blanks and blanks, right? You'll find many, many blanks. Okay, what I want you to do is write your name, find any square that somebody is, don't, two people not in the same square. Go down, go, keep going down and find more. Put your name, and then on the right-hand side, everybody, I know you want to talk about good things, but I have a short time. I want to start with, what do you dislike to teach in English? I mean, there must be one thing that you like. I don't like to teach it because I don't understand it, or because I don't have a good activity, or because my students hate it. So put your name anywhere. Just find an empty square. Keep going down. We have 80 squares. Joel told me you have 70 something today. Just go down to the bottom. I know it's hard to find a place with nobody. Okay. So put your name on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, put what do you dislike to teach? If one thing in English. Please don't write 10 things. Just write one thing, okay? Everybody says, I don't like teaching English ever. Well, we don't have a box for you. Sorry about that, okay? What are people writing? Future tense. It could be anything you don't like to teach. Don't be shy. Now, some people will be able to do this, will be able to connect to Google Doc easily. For some other people, it might be a little more difficult. So I'm going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. What I'm also demonstrating is that here in the United States, when I teach my class, for every class meeting, I make a Google Doc. And the left-hand side is people's names, and the right-hand side is something from the class. So I'll talk in a moment. Give you guys a few minutes here. Reported, yeah. Juan wrote reported speech. Juan, I agree. I don't dislike Juan. I hate teaching reported speech. Not dislike. So I think for Juan, we're going to put 100% here. Okay. Yeah, Juan. Yeah, me too. I hate teaching reported speech. Mauricio, what do you dislike teaching? You must have something you don't like.
Phrasal verbs.
Phrasal verbs are fun. It's hard. I mean, well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Luz, let's say Luz wrote, well, many. Okay, Luz. Okay. Many. Okay. Verb tenses. Griselda said verb tenses. Future tense. Teaching writing. Okay. Yeah. I don't mind teaching writing. The problem is if you teach writing, then you have a lot of work to do because you have many student papers. That's a problem sometimes. Conditionals, I see. So verbs, verb tenses, WH questions. Yep. Verb tenses, modal auxiliaries. The textbook, not according to grade. Yeah, the textbook. Anna Valencia wrote the textbook doesn't match the grade. Yeah, I understand that. The textbook's too difficult or too easy, or it's not interesting for the students that you have. Wow, got a lot of things going. A lot. Cool. Yvonne, future continuous. Yeah. Yvonne, my number one comment would be don't teach it. Don't teach future continuous. Because why? Okay, Joel didn't tell you, but I speak several languages, and so Spanish is one of my languages. And today I'm gonna start today with something about Spanish for English speakers. Mauricio, I think you saw this already. I don't remember if you saw this. I did a modified presentation. So Yvonne wrote future continuous, and in English I'll just write in Yvonne's box. That would look like I will be eating. Right? That's future continuous, right? But in reality, if you think about it, in Spanish, it's like estaré comiendo, right? Or estará lloviendo. But who says that? Think about it. In Spanish, who says that, right? And do not confuse. It's possible linguistically with the real world. So, I work with teachers in Panama, in Colombia, in Japan, in China, United States, and all the teachers I meet, like I don't teach in Panama. I don't know. I remember Daira was there earlier, right? And so Daira, I don't know Daira. I don't know Daira's classroom. I don't know how old her students are. I don't know anything about Daira and her teaching. But I will bet money that Daira would agree that teachers don't have enough time. Every teacher, I don't care where you are, every teacher knows we don't have enough time to do all these things, all right? So today, some of the ideas I want to give you, it's for I'm not trying to teach everything. I can't teach everything. Number one, I can't teach everything. Number two, I don't want to teach everything. And number three, it's not necessary to teach everything. For example, the future continuous, I will be eating. Now, if the Panamanian government, if the Ministry of Education in Panama or Colombia or Malaysia, wherever you're from, says you have to teach it, then there's no control. We don't control that. But if you have a choice, then I would choose not to do it because my Spanish is pretty good, and I almost never say, mañana no puedo, estaré comiendo. It's possible. But just because it's possible doesn't mean we teach it. We should teach things that are really useful. The number one, you know, my list that I wrote here, all these 6 things, the number one thing that people said a lot was teaching students to speak English and not be shy, not be afraid, you know, and have fun. Well, I cannot have fun with estaré comiendo. I don't have any game. I don't have any activity or game for estaré comiendo. Like, I mean, no, please don't teach that, all right? The problem is the student doesn't know comer in English, right? That's the problem. Or they don't know how to say yo como, right? So before we go into the first thing for today, what I just demonstrated, let me see, we got about 20 people there. First box, okay, not everybody, but lots of things, all right? Yeah, grammar without translation, I'll talk about that, verb tenses. Now, what I did was I'm talking now teacher to teacher. So if you want to use this activity yourself, what I did was I go to Google Docs. If you have a Gmail, anyone with a Gmail account can create Google Docs for free. So I go, and again, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. And I have 70 people, so I'm going to teach this one part. Whenever I teach online, my students are high school age. When I finish the class, they want a record. They want something like what happened in Folse's class, English class today on Friday, February 12th. So I make a Google Doc for every class meeting. This one is named Welcome February 12th. The next one will be Welcome February 14th or 18th, whatever it is. And all the students, when it comes time for the exam or they want to practice, all the students have access to these Google Docs. All right?
Oh.
All right, the cost is $0. Now, how difficult is Google Docs? This is my first semester using Google Docs. I've taught for a long time. I love Gmail. So I know Joel and Mauricio for a long time, and I have used Gmail the whole time. But I am a beginner, and I mean like super, super, super bad beginner with Google Docs. It is easy to use. What I do is I create a doc. I make it 2 things. You can share it and you can edit it. Everybody today was able to go and write something. So for example, if you don't like how I wrote the grammar, you can change it. Please don't change it, okay? But I mean, when you open it to everybody can change things, all right? So I make a Google Doc. Now you might say, why do I put the link here? Because when I open the page and I'm sharing it with you, I need to send you the link really quickly. I mean, really quickly. People don't like waiting. In my experience with Zoom, everything takes longer. So the first thing I do is, let me go back. This is what I do. When we start, so I gotta admit up there, all right? When we start like that, it's blank. I always put the Google Doc, I put the link here first. Today, what did I do? I shared number one, I shared my screen. When I shared my screen, then the next thing I did was I came here and I copied the link. And then I went to the chat area and I typed it in there, just like that. And I've been teaching a long time. I like to have a system in place. This to me is systematic. And then I write my notes. Here. Remember, I had the other things going on here we had before. I had this list. I write all my notes here. And if some student has a question, they can put the question here. Every day it's different, all right? I'm training future teachers in my class now in the United States. And so we have a problem right now with we have something called conversation hour, and my students have to do conversation hour with students from Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, etc. And some of my students had a problem. So in my class yesterday, I started with this and I said, okay, today, let's start with this. Many of you have told me you have a problem with the conversation hour. And I said, and you're trying to be a future teacher. You know my problem because it's Zoom, etc. So I want you to do this. Pretend you are the teacher. You're the teacher now. And I want you to put in the box, what is your solution? If you had my job right now, because you're going to have my job in 3 more years, what would you do? And that's what my point is. Every class, I ask a question or a problem or something about the homework, and students write their answers over here. This is how I check attendance. Just because you have your camera here doesn't mean you're, in my class, doesn't mean you're present. You're present if you wrote something in the box, all right? So I know, Joelle, this is not about grammar, what I'm doing right now, but it's how I teach my classes right now. I always start with a Google Doc and just make a box. Is there anything bad about this? Well, here's one thing bad. In Google, you can only make 20 at one time. So that's 20, and then we have a white space. I don't like this white space. It's a small thing, I know. I want one big box with 70 people, but I can't do it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop that for right now. So let me stop sharing my Google Doc, okay? Does anybody have a question about Google Doc that you wanna ask really quickly? I know some of you can do this, some of you can't do it, but if you have a question, feel free to write me. Let me put my email. I know Joelle had this earlier. Here's my email, which I will say many times today. Of course, it's a Gmail, right? That's how I have a Google Doc, because I have a Gmail account. Just my name with a dot in the middle, all right? All right, so Joelle, do I have full control? Like I'm able to put people in breakout rooms and everything, right? Is that true? I think I have that.
I think you can. Yes.
Okay, I think I have that power. Thanks. Okay. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with something a little strange today. Now, this is what we're gonna do. Kind of strange here. All right, let's get rid of, oh, that's not correct. Sorry about that. Goodbye. All right, let's do this one here. Now, I know this is a little strange, but let me stop sharing for a second so you can see me a little bit better. I wanna see you too. Here's the thing. Has anybody, I know everybody here is an English teacher. Has anybody tried to teach Spanish to an English speaker?
Me.
I don't mean, can you, in the chat group, can you write something? So have you ever tried to teach Spanish to an English speaker? In other words, your job in reverse, right? So I see a few people have done this, okay? Yeah, people don't like verb tenses. I agree. A lot of verb tenses, all right? So today, here's the thing. Do your students ever tell you, oh my God, teacher, English is really crazy. English is hard. English is the most difficult language, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. Which language is the most difficult? The one I don't know. They're all difficult. They're all difficult. So which one is more, is it more difficult for your students to learn English, or is it more difficult for English speakers to learn Spanish? What do you think? Which one do you think is more difficult? English, in the chat group, which one's more difficult? English or Spanish? For Spanish speakers learning English or English speakers learning Spanish? Oh, Vicky, great costume, Vicky. Excellent. All right, Vicky gets extra points.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you have the beads too. They have the beads. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
So, yeah.
I'm Carnival
Yeah,
in Panama.
I can see.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
at home, really.
Yep. Thank you. Very festive. Very festive. All right. So here's what happens. So then sometimes you have people, your students will say, oh my gosh, these verbs are so crazy in English. I can't remember them. So today I want to spend a short time. I want to show you your job in reverse. I want to show you the opposite of your job. So I want to show you how difficult Spanish is for English speakers. What's the purpose of this? With grammar, all grammar today. What's the purpose of this for you as an English teacher? Because your students say, oh my gosh, English, this is crazy. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I want you to be able to tell your students, really, you think English is so difficult? Let's look at Spanish a little bit. All right. So what do you think is difficult in Spanish? Now, today we started with, you made a list of things that you don't like to teach in English. So in the chat group, what do you think is difficult about Spanish? For example, if I'm an English speaker, I'm trying to learn Spanish. What is difficult for me because I'm an English speaker? I see somebody wrote verb tenses, the verb to be. Yeah, because you have two, ser and estar, right? Ser and estar is really confusing for English speakers because here's what's confusing. So what's the difference between ser and estar? Let's talk, Luis Coba. Luis, can you can you unmute for a second? All right. Yeah, Luis. Yep. Yep. Don't worry. That's okay. We don't have any airplane to catch. No problem. Okay. All right. So Luis. Okay. Okay. Here's a question for you. So imagine I'm a student trying to learn Spanish, and in Spanish I speak English, and in English we have a verb to be. I am, you are, he is. And how do you say I am, you are, he is in Spanish? Well, you say yo soy, tú eres, él es, or you say yo estoy, tú estás, él está. So my question for you, teacher who speaks Spanish, is what's the difference between yo soy and yo estoy? Because for me, it's the same thing.
I tell you, I am, yo soy,
yeah.
You are, tú eres.
Yeah, pero también hay tú estás, ¿no? ¿Cómo se dice tú estás in English? You are. ¿Cómo se dice tú eres? You are. So you see already the most basic verb in English or Spanish is the verb to be. In English, we have one. In Spanish, you have two. So when you come into English, maybe it's confusing. How do you say yo estoy? I am. How do you say yo soy? I am. What? What? That's like saying
context.
Maybe the context.
Yeah. Okay.
Context.
But okay, Victoria.
I say to my student, I'm an English teacher,
right.
but I'm in Barranquilla in this moment.
Okay.
I'm in Paris.
Okay. You're in Paris. I want to go to Paris with you. Okay. All right. So, but to an English speaker, okay. So, but to an English speaker who's learning Spanish, you've got estoy and you've got soy. So, what's the difference? My point is, all languages have difficult parts. Okay. Now, then what does the Spanish teacher tell the English speaker? Well, in Spanish, if it's something permanent, we use ser, like mi nombre es Keith. You use es, not está, because it's always your name is Keith. Okay. Or yo soy de los Estados Unidos, because I'm always from the United States, not just only today. And then we use estar if it's like temporary or it's a location. So like estoy feliz, maybe every day, but today I'm really happy to estoy contento de estar aquí con ustedes, right? That's why we use estoy. But the typical English mistake will be soy contento. And you say, you can't say that. Why? Because we don't say that. We don't say that. That's not a reason. That's a fact. Okay. So what's the reason? And here's the confusing thing about Spanish. Then they will say, use es with its always true. And I want to say, ¿Dónde es el banco? No, ¿dónde está el banco? What do you mean, ¿dónde está? You told me está was for temporary things, like está lloviendo, right? Or, I don't know. It's difficult. It's really difficult. Let me show you some things. I'm trying to help you with your students. When your students say English is really hard, I want to show you the opposite side of that, okay? All right. I'm sorry, I got to share screen for a second here. All right. Good luck, everybody. So you wrote things you think are difficult difficult with Spanish. Let's see what people said. All right, let's try this one. So here are some things that, all right, PowerPoint, cool. All right, cool. So what's the most difficult thing about English? I think the three most difficult things about English all begin with the letter P. Present perfect, prepositions, and phrasal verbs. Now, Mauricio mentioned phrasal verbs. I agree. These are difficult. For me, these are the three worst things about the difficulty of English. So I'm going to talk about these three things in a little while. But if you want to watch a video of me explaining these three things, then you can go, there's a YouTube link, all right? And I will give you the YouTube link in a little while, all right? But here's what a person who's learning Spanish, an English speaker. First of all, in in Spanish, you don't have like I speak, you speak, we speak, they speak. You have hablo, hablas, habla. It changes all over the place, right? And also for English speakers, libro is masculine, el libro. But revista is, you don't say el revista, you say la revista. Why? This makes English speakers crazy. your English, your Panamanian students, when they learn English, and I say, "Cómo se dice gato" in English? Cat, and you're finished. You can say the cat, a cat, my cat, this cat. It doesn't matter. But for me in English, and I say, "How do you say cat in Spanish?" And you say gato. Okay, el gato or la gato, este gato or este gata or gato. I mean, we don't have that in English. It makes us crazy. And then el agua. But do you say el agua fresco or el agua fresca? I actually don't know in Spanish. I don't know. And then problema, it ends in an A. Why don't you say la problema? You say la, la tortilla or what, la revista. Why not la problema? Well, we don't say that. Why? You don't say that. All right. So here are 8 mistakes that are common maybe by your Spanish speaking students, right? Read this list. So one of them, number 1, verb tense. I am here since 7 a.m. is good Spanish. In English, it should be, I have been. I have been here since 7 a.m. All right. He has hungry. Nope, nope, nope. He is hungry, right? Everyone is confusing. Well, tal vez tienes razón, but no. In this case, everyone is confused with the ed, right? I don't like the snakes. No me gustan las culebras. Las. But in English, we don't say las. We just say culebras. All right. And then I no have much time. Negative. I do not have much time. My sister is 25. Is teacher. No. My sister is 25. She is a teacher. There's no subject. And then where are you work? No. Where are you working or where do you work? But are and work is not a possible combination in English. And then number 8, the adjectives in the wrong word order. She has a dog small. That's not English. That's not correct. Correct English is she has a small dog. I chose these 8 mistakes because I think these 8 mistakes are pretty basic. For me, number 1 is not easy. Number one, if I have a beginning student in English class who says, I am here since 7 a.m., I will correct it, but I don't teach the lesson. Why? Because it's a beginning student, and the beginning student is 100% not ready for a lesson on present perfect. It's too early, right? Now, the number 1 question I ask all of you in the Google form, and again, thank you to so many people who wrote, the number 1 question, remember, was how long have you been teaching? And 10% of all the people here today, 10% are in the first year. So if you're teaching your very first year, it's difficult for you because you don't know what's beginning, what's intermediate, what's advanced yet, maybe, right? But with more time, you'll get to know this. All right, where do mistakes come from? Mistakes come from 3 places. Grammar mistakes come from 3 places. Sometimes from the native language. So if I have a student who says, I have hungry, I think it's a Spanish speaker. It's not a Chinese speaker. It's not an Arabic speaker. It's a Spanish speaker or a Portuguese speaker or a French speaker, right? Sometimes, number 2, sometimes there's something difficult from the language. So in English, we say, I would ask the question, what time is it? That's the question. And I say, I don't know. We have to say, I don't know what time it is, right? When it's inside a bigger sentence, it changes. Where does Maria live? Where does she live? I don't know. And I ask Viloria, I say, Viloria, do you know where does she live? Not English. Correct English. Do you know where she lives with an S, right? Because this is inside something. When it's inside something, we don't have question grammar. And then number 3, some mistakes happen, we don't know where. So in English, maybe your students, when they try to use the verb pasar, to happen, almost everybody, Chinese, Spanish, Arabic, French, everybody says the accident happened at night. What do you mean what's happened? Because in Spanish, you don't say el accidente fue pasado. No, you say pasó or ocurrió, right? My point is 3 reasons for mistakes. For me, number 1 is the biggest one. You know, your students speak Spanish, they will make certain mistakes in English, right? But I want to show you this in reverse. So everybody read this. This is a paragraph that a university student here in the United States wrote about a movie that they watched a video in the Spanish class. Do you see some mistakes? All right, so if you look in line 2, it says, cuando yo oílo, that's English. When I heard it, que debe ser cuando yo lo oí, cuando yo lo escuché, ¿no? So, but my point is, you see, there are mistakes. Now, this paragraph is actually pretty good, okay? This student tried really hard, right? Like, el pasaje era lleno de desiertos, and then montaña, no montaña, but montaña, right? But I want to show you more examples in Spanish. Here are 10. So I'm going to show you some sentences. This is in the United States, second-year Spanish students in the university. So if you teach high school second year, or you teach university second year, or your students are only studying English for the second year, this is what they did. I have 12 mistakes. I'm going to go very quickly here, okay? Because we want to do English today. Gustar. You know, the word like is difficult for Spanish speakers. I hear I like. In English, you cannot say I like. Me gusta is not I like. Me gusta is I like it. I like that. I like your shirt. I like your Panamanian carnival costume. In English, you cannot stop with like. Now, what's the problem in English? And also, you know the verb gustar, it's the opposite, right? So in English, we say something, gustar, me. And in Spanish, you say me gustar something, right? So what do you think the English speakers do? They do this. Hay muchas cosas que las personas en esta clase les gusta. What? A ti te gusta el carro. A mí me lo gusta también. Me gusto comer comida. I like to eat. Me gusto. Bueno, me alegra que te gustes, okay? It's a strange sentence, isn't it? Kelly y yo nos gustan los deportes. That's English. That's English. Yo me gusta. Oh my gosh, yo me gusta. You can't gustar yourself in Spanish, okay? But it's confusing. All right. Melissa le gusta bailar. Well, that's kind of close. I'm Melissa, right? But this is English. My point is, I show you these things because I want to show you that the things your students have trouble with, please don't get angry. Don't get just, desperate. Don't get bothered. It's normal. Making mistakes is normal. Number 2, noun and noun. Algo que tenemos en común son videojuegos. Like what? Juegos de video or something. Or, me encantan las Disney películas. That's English. So in English, we can do this. In Spanish, you can't. Like a plastic bag. I think in Spanish, una bolsa de plástico. Maybe, help me out. But in English, we don't say a bag of plastic. We say a plastic bag. A chocolate cake. A plastic bag means B is the bag, A is the A is the first one, B is second. A plastic bag is where B is made of A. Bag is made of plastic. A chocolate cake is the cake is made of chocolate. A wedding cake is not a cake made of wedding. It's a cake for this event, right? A science book is not a book made of science. It's a book, and it's not a book for the science day. It's a book about science, right? In English, this is very, very difficult, very difficult. Adjectives. Diferencias poquitas, okay? Y llena de ayuda, helpful. They're trying to say helpful in English, right? And then they do this, adjective word order. Now, your students put the adjective in the wrong place, right? They say, I have a shirt blue. And in the beginning, English speakers do that also, but they also change very quickly. Gender. I'll go quickly here. English speakers, we hate this in Spanish. It's so confusing. Tengo un libro, what? Tengo un libro blanco. Tengo dos libros blancos with S. Oh my God. Tengo una camisa blanca. Tengo dos camisas blancas. How do you say white? Well, sometimes it's blanco, sometimes blanca, sometimes blancos, and sometimes blancas. What? What? So the next time your student says, so when a Spanish speaker says, these color, the color words, white, blue, green, yellow, these are too difficult for me. No, absolutely not. You have to learn one word. We have to learn 4. Okay, adjective clauses. Voy a escribir sobre las situaciones. ¿Qué hacemos? In English, the ¿qué is optional. You can put it or not, nobody cares. So of course, what do English speakers do? We don't put it. ¿Qué admiro es mi abuela, right? The ¿qué? ¿Quién? Una persona, ¿quién? Because in English we say a person who, and they translate it to who, when it should be ¿qué? ¿Quién amo? ¿Quién amo? Okay. You love yourself, it looks like. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Let me show you this. Somebody asked me on the Google form, what do you do with the preposition? Okay. In English, the boy with whom you sat is from Peru. El muchacho con quien te sentaste es de Perú. That's possible in English, but it sounds very formal. Whom is 100% correct. Nobody says this. People might write it. No, if you speak like this, you will have no friends. Absolutely no friends. Because no, you sound strange. You sound like a dictionary from 200 years ago. That's what you sound like, all right? Now, you can also say the boy whom you sat with. You can move the with. That's a good thing, but we still have whom. So this, go back. This is correct. This is also correct, all right? Then you can, if you can use whom in conversation, you can change to who, no problem. This is correct and it sounds nice. It sounds like conversation. But more common, we use the word that for everything. All right. This is not bad English. It's not slang. It's not incorrect. It's normal English. Or algo que no se puede hacer en español, you can just drop it. El muchacho con yo me senté es de Perú. You can do that. All right. Now this is strange. Adjective clauses in English are very difficult. I agree, very difficult. All right. And here's an example. Los padres quieren que sus hijas casarse con un hombre que las chicas no quieren estar con. Con quien no quieren estar. Right. All right. So here's examples. Which bus are you waiting for? Someone says it's difficult. It is. In English, you need to say, which bus are you waiting for? That's correct English, right? Who are you thinking about? That's correct English. Which station, radio station, which station do you usually listen to, right? She's the person that I voted for, and you're the one we're all counting on. Now, I agree this is difficult. I'm learning German now. And German does this also, and it's crazy. And I'm an English speaker, and we have this, and still it's confusing to me. All right, subject-verb agreement. Nosotros tienen, minus 100. But the thing is, I expected this mistake, but it hardly happened. Ser en estar, oh my God, mi hobby está durmiendo. Bueno, debes despertar tu hobby entonces, okay? Desde que yo estaba un bebé, oh my gosh, Jennifer es muy buena persona, yo quiero estar como ella. ¿Estar con ella o como ella? No, quiero ser como ella, ¿no? Han sido, okay, and the articles. Now, in English speakers, we don't use the, T-H-E, so in Spanish, you use it much more, right? La paciencia es importante, la amistad es importante. In English, patience is important. Friendship is important, right? What's your favorite color? I like blue. We don't say I like the blue. It's just I like blue. Me gusta comida china. That's a mistake, right? Now, what will your student, your Panamanian student, what will their mistake be in English? They will say, I like the Chinese food. And that's a mistake because we don't need the, because we're talking about Chinese food in general. All right. I'll just let you read these really quickly. These are real mistakes from real people. Right? All right. Word order. Solamente practícalos. Solamente, solo los practica, right? Yo he lo conocido. I'm trying to show you that what you're teaching in Panama, you are not unique. Many teachers think, oh my God, my job is so difficult. Your job is difficult, especially with COVID and online, it's even more difficult. I agree. But what you are confronting, what you are facing in Panama is what people who are teaching French in Italy today have the same problem. All second language teachers face the same problem. Prepositions. Many people wrote about prepositions. Jim ayuda a mi abuela. No, Jim le ayuda a mi abuela, right? Le gusta a jugar. Okay. Estudia en, right? Again, these are difficult. Subjunctive. Some people wrote subjunctive. I hate subjunctive in Spanish, not as a teacher, but as a student, okay? So, Fred es pobre y los padres de Wilma quieren que Wilma casar con un otro hombre. Yeah. So, why do you have que sea and then se case? Not se casa. This is very difficult for everybody who studies Spanish, really. Right? But number two, okay, some of you want to know, if I want to say, yo necesito que mis amigos me ayuden, how do you say it in English? You say, yo necesito mis amigos me ayuden. I need my friends. We actually say ayudarme. We say, I need my friends to help me. And then we have subjunctive. Did you know we have subjunctive in English? Yeah. It is important that you arrive on time. Here's the good news. Subjunctive, for example, do the one with Spanish. Spanish would be like, let's take the verb to go, ir. Yo voy, tú vas, él va. Yo quiero que tú vayas, yo quiero que él vaya, quiero que nosotros vayamos, right? In English, it's the same. So in English, normal verb, I go, you go, he goes with S, she goes with S. Subjunctive in English, nothing, no ending. I go, you go, he go, no S. She go, no S. It go, no S. So what we say in English is, it is important that you arrive on time. It is important that each student arrive, no S. Normal sentence, each student arrives on time. Subjunctive in English is easy. It's no ending, no S, no ED. It is mandatory that you be at work tomorrow. It is mandatory that he be, not he is, not you are. All right. And then in English, you know what we do? We have subjunctive. It sounds very, very formal. If you use the word whom, then you would do this as well. So more common is to say it is important for you to arrive on time like that. All right, last one, everybody, last one. All right. So in this case, this is a paragraph that somebody wrote. You know the TV show Betty La Fea? So this is Betty La Fea, and they wrote about it. Look at all the mistakes here. So in Spanish, you don't say ella. Me llamo Folse, soy profesor, estoy en mi casa. I don't say yo. But in English, we have to do it. So your students in English will forget. They will say, my name is Keith Folse, period, am a teacher, without the I. Or is hot today, without the it. But English speakers do the opposite. They put a subject every time. And I think to you as a Spanish speaker, maybe it sounds strange to hear something like this all the time. I don't know. All right. So what can we learn about this from teaching English in Panama? So when your students, part of your job is to know English and teach English well. But also part of our job is to keep the students happy and like a football coach or the basketball coach. Keep the team moving. You can do this. You can, keep your spirit high, right? Keep everybody happy and, I don't know, trying really their best. In order to do this well, people, your students will feel frustrated sometimes. Oh my God, the do, does, did. I will never understand this. When you want to show them that English is not so crazy, English is not so difficult, give some examples from Spanish to show them, okay, you're teaching high school. You think your job, high school student learning English, you think you have a horrible job? You think you have a bad thing to, or a very difficult thing to do? Let me show you how people just, you're 17 years old. People who are 17 years old in the United States in a high school, let me show you what they're doing with Spanish, for example. Now, maybe you don't want to do this, maybe you do, but I just wanted everybody to take a look for a minute and think about how this situation is. All languages are difficult in different ways. Some of the things your students have problems with, my students also have problems, all right? So I stopped sharing for a second. I see, that someone said in español no usamos phrasal verbs. Yes, you don't have phrasal verbs. And phrasal verbs for me, I know usually it's in a grammar lesson. Phrasal verbs are usually like a vocabulary lesson. I'm actually going to talk about phrasal verbs, okay? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go do one activity really quickly. Let me stop sharing that for 1 second. Put that down. I believe. Yep, down. Close it. Thank you. All right. Mauricio, how are we doing there? We're good?
I'm doing well, Professor.
Okay. What I'm going to do next is, I don't know if you like to go shopping or not, but we're going to see who is the best shopper. So we have, so Mauricio, you have already seen this one, I think. And if you have friends from Colombia, they may have seen this already. But here we go. So, all right. So let me do a share screen really quickly. And what's the grammar point? The grammar point today is comparative. So I'm going to start with comparative. All right. So let me go ahead and share screen really quickly. And we're going to have the shopping game. All right. All right. So are you a good grocery shopper? Okay, so let's try this. But here's what I want to do. The grammar, so teacher to teacher. The grammar lesson today is comparison of adjectives. Now the lesson is sometimes in English we use more, like interesting, more interesting, expensive, more expensive, right? Difficult, more difficult. And that's just like Spanish. That's easy. But many times we don't use more. We put ER. So for example, I am tall, you are taller, right? My sister is short, my brother is shorter. This pen is cheap, but this other pen is not more cheap. If you translate from Spanish, you're going to say more with everything. And sometimes you're correct because we do say more expensive, more difficult, more interesting, but we do not say more tall, we do not say more short, and we do not say more cheap. That has no meaning in English, right? So I want to do two things. I would like to teach this lesson, number one, and I want students to speak English. Now, I'm going to show you a traditional way of teaching this grammar point, and I'm going to show you, if I were you, what I would do to help my students become a little more active in class. Now, so let me start here. First, for everybody, what's the grammar lesson? So if you could please, in the chat group, all right, in the chat group, choose, can you write 5 adjectives that have ER? 5 that have ER. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second here so I can go to the chat group as well. I want to see everybody also. So in the chat group, write 5. And be sure, yeah, don't write old, write older. Put any, what's the first 5 that come to your head? 5 adjectives that have ER. Okay, Maria Luisa wrote, yeah, shorter, smaller, bigger, yep, longer, yep. Sweeter, yeah, bigger, happier. Okay, pretty, taller, happy, yep, smarter. Oh, thank you. You said I was smarter than somebody. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Lonelier. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have sad adjectives. No sad adjectives on a Friday. Okay, it's carnival. All right. Hungrier. Hungry is usually negative, but it's a positive today for me because I really want to eat something. I didn't eat a big lunch, so as soon as this finishes at 4 o'clock, I'm gonna have a combination of lunch and dinner, and maybe a combination of breakfast also. Who knows? I don't know. All right. So Everybody did that, right? Now let me go back to sharing my screen. All right, and so Joelle, if you could just monitor a little bit, okay? Let me know if anybody writes something different or so. I put the PowerPoint back. Now, you can teach this any way you want. You could say, you know, you could begin with which one's easier, more or ER? For your Spanish-speaking students, more is the easy one. So what I would do is I would begin with 5 sentences, like a Rolex watch is more expensive than a Timex watch, or something like that. Or I think Pepsi is more delicious than Coca-Cola, for example. I would write 5 sentences, and I would ask, let people read the sentences. Those 5 sentences will be so easy for your students, because choose examples, choose content that your students know and like. For example, I have right here. I have my soft drink already. I have my Coke, my Coca-Cola. All right. So I think Mauricio and Joel know me. I always have a Diet Coca-Cola all the time. Right. Right. So if someone's doing a lesson with me, then it's logical to talk about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, because I drink that a lot. Right. I think coffee is more delicious than tea, or anything. Write 5 sentences. These 5 sentences with more will be super easy for your Spanish speaking students, because it's exactly how you say it in Spanish, right? Now, then for tall, on the board, I will write number 6. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more expensive, more difficult. Number 6, I will write, okay, class, I'm going to write 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and these are more difficult. So number 6. So for example, I know Mauricio. Mauricio is, okay, if you see Mauricio and me side by side, Mauricio's here and I'm here. All right. So tall. Mauricio is taller than me. Mauricio's taller than me. But I will not write that. I will write number 6. Mauricio is more tall than me. And number 7, I will write Colombia is more big than Panama. And number 8, I will write cake is more sweet than pasta. Those are wrong, but the students don't know they're wrong, because it looks just like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I finish number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I will say, okay, everybody, I will say like Luisa, I will say, Luisa, can you read number 6? Luisa will read number 6. And I will say, Luisa, thank you very much. Good pronunciation. Thank you. And I said, class, I will tell you that there is one mistake in number 6. Number 6 says, Mauricio is more tall than Keith. Find the mistake. They're like, what? And I will say, nope. And I will correct it. I will correct these. And then I ask the students, now, what is the difference between number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? If you have little kids, you can't do this. I'll talk in a moment about the little kids, okay? But if you have middle school and higher, then you can, when you teach something brand new, there are 2 ways to do it. One is to say, okay, class, open your book to page 37. Here's the grammar. You actually teach explicitly, directly, the grammar box. Another way that I like to use sometimes, I don't do it every time because it takes a lot of time, but what I call discovering grammar. Discovering grammar. So I'm going to introduce 5 good sentences, expensive, you know, everything we just did, right? And then numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I will introduce 5 sentences with the same grammar, but it's a mistake. And I'm going to go to the board and I said, can anyone see the mistake? I said, more good, cross it out. Nope, not good. More cheap, nope, not good. Because what happens is then some students will think, wait a minute, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are correct, why is it not okay in number 6? And I'm thinking, exactly, that's my question for you. So there are many ways for you to teach this, but you do not always have to start with the book. In fact, I very, very rarely start with the book. I go to the book for the class. Students like the book. The book is safe. They like the grammar box. Teachers, let's be honest, teachers like the grammar box. It's safe, right? So let me go back here. So sorry, go back. All right, so here's one. So Now, after you present it, and I don't care how you, today I'm going to show you a speaking activity with this. That's because you guys I have the paper here with all the things you guys told me you want to talk about today on 2 sides. You guys wrote a lot of things on that Google form, okay? But one theme, one topic I saw over and over and over was grammar with speaking, grammar with speaking, grammar with speaking. So I want to show you. This is not speaking. Number one, the teacher presented the grammar directly or indirectly with, you know, find the difference. Or, and after you finish that, the next step is let's practice. So the first practice might be like this. This is one example. Your textbook has this, I'm sure. Joe is tall, but Susan is, which one's correct? Taller, right? Taller. Number 2, playing with a knife is dangerous, but playing with a gun is more dangerous. All right. Number 3, this sauce is kind of means like algo salado, un poco salado. This sauce is kind of salty, but that sauce is saltier. All right, saltier. Now, this is not new. This is old. Old is not bad. Okay, I'm old. Old is not bad. Okay, old just means old. That's all. It means not new. This kind of practice is normal, but I want to do something else. What's the next step? If you only practice grammar to do these sheets of paper, everybody will be bored. I'm bored. I love grammar, but this is boring. This is, in my opinion, this is necessary, but this is not the final product. This is not my final practice in class. I do this worksheet in order to do the next step. Everybody okay with what I'm saying? So first you introduce the grammar. There are many ways to present the grammar. After I present the grammar, we practice. Now, I can do this kind of worksheet. And now I want to do some speaking. All right. So someone said, well, what kind of speaking practice can you do? So Mauricio, can you unmute your mic for a minute? So I'm going to have Mauricio. Last time I called on Luis, but Luis, you can take a break. Luis is not the student this time. Mauricio is going to be the person. So I want you to, everybody, Mauricio is the student in the class. Mauricio, I'm going to give you easy questions. Don't worry, okay? So in this case, if I have a whole class, I would say, okay, class, I'm going to tell you a word and you tell me ER or more. For example, if I say tall, then Mauricio, you will say
ER.
Yeah, ER. You would say taller. So yeah, taller. And if I say interesting, you would say
More.
more interesting. Okay. So I want everybody to say not just ER or more, say the whole thing. So right now you see the word interesting. I want you to say more interesting, or tall, say taller. Now, if I do the worksheet, if I do this worksheet, it's kind of slow. It's kind of boring, but it's necessary to do the worksheet. People don't want to open their mouth and speak until they practice on paper first. Most people like paper first. All right, do the paper. Then in context here, but I'm going to go to context. But Mauricio, for example, I would say, like, what would you say for slow?
Lower.
Slower. Nice.
Nicer.
Nicer. Expensive.
More expensive.
More expensive. Okay. Difficult.
More difficult.
More difficult. Hard.
Harder.
Harder. Okay. Yeah. Now, if we do this, is Joel there? Is Joel still here?
Professor, but before going on, Luis has like a comment. What about clear? Clear, more clear, or what?
Yeah. Okay.
Clear.
So yeah, Luis had a word with clear. So clear is one of those different. According to the rule, we should say clearer, clearer. But that we hate that. So sometimes you hear people say more clear, and actually, there are some words in English where the grammar book tells you always do this, and that's not true. So a word like handsome, guapo, right? Handsome has 2 syllables. According to the rule, we should say more handsome.
More handsome.
That you should say more handsome, but you will hear people say handsomer. They say that. So I'm telling you that some of these, language changes. Words like in Spanish, the word guapo guapo is much more common in Spanish than handsome is in English. In fact, Mauricio, think about how often in English do you hear the word handsome? Do you see the word handsome compared to guapo in Spanish? Now, guapo in Spanish is not like super frequent, but it's much more frequent in Spanish than it is in English. The word handsome, I hardly ever use that word. We say nice looking.
Good, nice looking.
Yeah, good looking, nice looking. Good looking or nice looking, that's the normal English word, right? So the question that the person had about clear. Now, if you ask about those kind of clear things, but you see, that's grammar. We study grammar not to learn grammar. We don't study grammar to learn 10 exceptions. We learn grammar in order to be able to do something, to write something, to say something. And I want to talk about buying something. I want to talk about going shopping, all right? This is what I want to talk about. So before this, what do I need? The student has to know more something and something like cheaper, but more expensive. So we practice on, I introduce it, I practice on paper, and then I do what I did with Mauricio. Now, Mauricio just now, did everybody notice with I can't see people's names, I'm so sorry. Mauricio, tell me the name of somebody else you see right now, and that person unmute. Who's that?
Sylvia.
Okay, can she also unmute for a minute? We have 3 people.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Now you can be a person also. You're good. All right. So, all right, Mauricio. What's the other person, Mauricio, who's here? Mauricio and
Sylvia.
Sylvia. Okay. Let me stop sharing for one moment so I can see everybody. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So Sylvia. So Sylvia, do you have can you see a watch or a clock right now?
Where?
Do you have can you have one now? Do you have one?
I have myself.
Okay, good. So,
Yes.
All right. Okay, Sylvia, in a moment, I want you to say ready, set, go. Just say go, and you're going to give me 30 seconds. So you say ready, set, go, and you watch 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds, I want you to say stop. Okay?
Okay.
Not yet. And Sylvia, there's no extra money today for this, okay? So I appreciate your help, all right? So Mauricio is going to be my class because do this. Okay, now wait. What's traditional teaching? Class, I'm going to say a word. You tell me what's the correct form. And I say tall, and then we hear taller. And some people say more tall. Oh my gosh. And then I say expensive. And I'm thinking, this is not interesting. You know how you make it interesting? Keep it short, keep it focused, and make a game. So here's the game. So Sylvia in a minute is going to say ready, set, go. And when she says go, Mauricio, everybody else, your job, I want you to count, all right? So for example, here, I see Griselda, for example, and Yaritza. So for example, if I say cold and Mauricio says colder, and I repeat, I don't know if you notice, I always repeat the correct answer when Mauricio just now, right? I say cold, Mauricio said colder, and I said colder. That counts as 1. And I want you to tell me, everybody count, how many words did Keith Folse and his class, Mauricio, practice in 30 seconds, all right?
Okay.
Because, here's what I'm doing is, you tell your students, okay, class, we're going to do a 30-second practice. Ready, set, go. You got to keep it moving fast. The teacher, what do you need? If it's your first year teaching, this might be difficult for you. I'm old. I've done this many times because I'm going to predict that in 30 seconds, Mauricio, we will how many do you think we will do, everybody, in 30 seconds? I think we're going to do a lot. Most people say 6 or 7. Oh, no. 6 or 7 is not fun. 6 or 7, I need to repeat teaching school again, okay? All right, all right, so Sylvia, you say ready, set, go, and Mauricio's the class. Now, I would do a demonstration first, and I would say cold, and Mauricio would say
colder.
Colder, and then I will say colder, and all of that counts as 1. All right.
Okay.
Because the students heard it 3 times. They heard cold, his answer, my answer. Okay. But Sylvia, your job is the clock. You don't have to worry about any math. Sylvia's going to count to 30 and not 31. Everybody else, you might go higher than 31. You won't, but we'll see. All right. All right. So tell us, ready, set, go.
Okay, ready, set, go.
All right, Mauricio, cold,
Colder.
colder, that's good. Hot,
Hotter.
hotter, that's good. Expensive,
Easier.
more expensive. Can you say more expensive?
More expensive.
More expensive, thank you. Smart,
Smarter.
smarter, very good. Intelligent,
More intelligent.
more intelligent, that's good, okay? Nice,
More nice.
okay, that was a short word, nice. Nicer, can you say nicer?
Nicer.
Yes. Educated, educated,
More educated.
more educated. Easy.
The time, Sylvia.
What time,
Time's
Sylvia?
up.
Time's okay. All right. I counted 7. All right, 7. All right. Now,
Easier.
30
Okay.
seconds already.
okay. Now it's a
Yes, I
race. It's a race. Yeah. So yeah, I think Doris said yeah. It's like a race, But my students know. I say now I'm teaching future teachers. I teach my teachers to do what we just did. This activity is called a drill. I wrote it in the chat. It's called a drill.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
drill. Now, I've been teaching so long. By a show of hands, anybody been teaching more than 10 years? More than 10 years? If you've been teaching more than 10 years, you know that what you did 10 years ago was popular, and then somebody said, don't do that anymore, and now it's
Mhm.
popular again, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. So this drills were very, very popular,
Popular.
40 years ago. When I learned Spanish, we had drills. You heard my Spanish, right? I think my Spanish is okay. Drills can work. Now, here's what I don't do. I don't do drills for 60 minutes. I don't do drills for 1 minute. I do drills for 30 seconds. And I say, ready, set, go. And then one person is the clock person, the timekeeper, and another person is going to answer. Now, today was only Mauricio, was one, but all the students will be there. Or how do you make it more of a game? Break your class into 3 groups or 2 groups. Or do you have group A, B, and C? I go, okay,
Mhm.
group A. So now we're doing 2 things. How many can you do in 30 seconds? And which group gets the highest number of correct answers?
Answers. Mhm.
Yeah. So this is a game. Why is it a great game? Teacher preparation time, 2 minutes. You need about 10 or 15 adjectives, right? Now, some teachers, if you're new, allow me to show you your best friend. You get notes. And before you're not a big piece, get a little note and you write down on a piece of paper, divide it in half. And over here, one side, you write down the 1 syllable, cold, hot, hard, smart. Over here, you write 2 syllables or more, intelligent, difficult. Why? These use ER, these use more. Then I go to class, and the class, I wear a nice blue shirt, and I go with this paper, and I am now ready to play the game. Or it's in my pocket, I just take the paper out. I don't need this paper because I'm old and I have done this activity so many times. But if this is new, the number one thing is 30 seconds, and you, the teacher, you cannot pause. Keep it moving, moving, moving. Pressure. 30 seconds. Then you say, oh my gosh, but this is difficult. Well, welcome. Welcome to a real language. You are studying a real language, and you are now opening your mouth, but it's difficult because we don't have a worksheet. When you go shopping in a supermarket in English or in Spanish, I don't have a worksheet. You need to, this is practice. So number 1, teacher presents. Number 2, we do safe practices on a piece of paper. Number 3, we do these drills, not for 1 minute, never for 5 minutes. Oh my God, you'll kill your students if you can do it for 5 minutes, okay? So 30 seconds. And my students know this is a 30-second game, 30-second activity, right? You can do this with every grammar point. People ask me about little kids. Kids love this. It's a game. It's really not a game, but if you have a timekeeper, thank you, Sylvia, and we have people counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it becomes a game for everybody. Now, what's the best thing? The best thing is when you finish, do you know how many papers you have to take home and grade? None. Zero. And people enjoyed English class because it was fun and exciting and fast. It was fast, okay? Wow, I love doing this activity, all right? But this is just a short activity, all right? Let me go to the next one now. Let me go back to my PowerPoint for a second. All right, All right, Mauricio, thank you very much. You are a very good student today. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. All right. Are you a good grocery shopper? So here's what I'm gonna do. So everybody, so you can practice with 2 people or 3 people or by yourself, whatever you want to do. So the question is cheaper. So I'm going to show you in a moment, I'm going to show you 2 things. Now, this is not from Panama. This is from the United States, but you can do this from Panama or Colombia. Find pictures of things, 2 things that are kind of similar, right? For example, don't put, I have a can of green beans and I have chili with beans. You know, chili in English means meat. It's kind of a meat, like it's a soup with meat, carne molida, right? So we have a can of green beans and a can of chili with beans. More or less the same size. You see 14.5 ounces. Maybe you don't know ounces, but it's the same size, the same similar size. All right. So what you do is this. You need to say, and I want you to write in the chat group. Now, this is not what I do with my students. Exactly, because I'm doing teacher training today, right? So for you, what I want you to do is I want you to write, you see the sentence, I think something is cheaper than something because. So in the chat group right now, which do you think is cheaper? Are the green beans, the green beans are cheaper, or the chili with beans is cheaper? And why? And if you think, for example, it's too difficult to write something, then what you can do is you can just write green beans or write chili. So number 1, which one is cheaper? But if you write green beans, then you have to say green beans are cheaper. You have to use the word cheaper. And when you use the word cheaper, you have to use is or are. Mauricio, can you read the chat group for me?
Yes, Professor. We have, I think the green beans are cheaper because it doesn't include meat.
Wow. Okay. It doesn't include meat.
Green beans are cheaper.
Green beans are cheaper. Wow, really? Everybody thinks that? Wow. Okay. That's possible. That's possible.
I think green beans are cheaper because chili with beans because the can has meat.
Can has meat. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to say something. Okay, esto lo voy a decir en español. Disculpe, porque quiero que todo el mundo entienda esto. Tienes que darles a los estudiantes una razón por la cual van a decir algo en inglés. So number 1, why you want me to say cheaper? Okay, repeat after me, class. Cheaper. That's not a reason. That's an order. That's like police. Okay. So green beans are cheaper. That's good. But if you're teaching beginners, green beans are cheaper. That's good. That's enough. Basta con esto. But if you want to have your students try something more difficult, make them write because. Because, for example, the person who says it does not include meat, eso está practicando negando en inglés, que es muy difícil, ¿no? And now it's not a grammar practice. I mean, it's not a grammar paper. It's real English. Now, maybe you say, oh, this is too difficult. My students, they're going to make mistakes. If your students don't make mistakes, you don't have a job, okay? Be careful. Students making mistakes is normal. If they didn't make a mistake, we would be shocked, right? But people need a reason to say something. So let's look and see what you did. All right. So the answer was the green beans. Green beans were cheaper. Green beans were cheaper there. So that was, if you got that correct, congratulations here. Let me change my screen a little bit to go. I'm going to hide things. All right, come here. All right, let's go to this one. Cool. All right. So everybody ready? Number 1. So everybody on a piece of paper, everybody get a small piece of paper. All right. And on your paper, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all you need for, okay? If this is if you were my class of students learning English, I would tell you this. So on the paper, just number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to show you 5 slides, 5 pictures with 2 products, 2 food products. And I want you to, don't write a sentence, just choose which one do you think is cheaper. That's all. So if it has a cat and a dog, you write cat or you write dog. You write green beans, you write chili. Don't worry about the sentence right now. Just one thing. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. Don't say it, please. Don't tell anybody. All right, here we go. Number one, I have pasta or salsa. Now, salsa in the United States is what we eat Mexican food. The salsa has tomatoes and chili peppers and onions cut up in a big jar. So pasta, spaghetti, pasta or salsa. Which one's cheaper? All right. Got it on your paper? All right. Ready? Number two. I have soap for washing dishes, or I have peanut butter. Now, I know peanut butter in some Latin American countries, they have it. In some places, they don't have it. It depends. Mauricio, can you buy peanut butter in Colombia?
I don't know, maybe, yeah.
Maybe, okay. So some countries have it, but some don't. I like peanut butter. Peanut butter is my good friend for snacks, peanut butter and crackers. Okay.
I think that you have Pricemer there in Colombia and in most of the countries, and you can find a lot.
Okay, yeah. All right. So peanut butter is a way to do something about culture, because in the United States, we eat peanut butter. All children eat peanut butter. All right. Next one, ready? Number three. We have a pizza, or we have vitamins. Vitamins for children. Which one's cheaper? The pizza or the vitamins? So the vitamins have 60 vitamins, 60, no? And the pizza would be 16, 3, 16, 48, 2. The pizza weighs about 1.7 kilos. It's a big pizza. The picture is small because it has to fit on the slide, sorry. But it's a big pizza, all right? And remember, I didn't eat lunch today, so I have to think about the pizza. All right, ready? Number four. I hope you have everything correct, or you're a good shopper. Number four, we have a box of Pepsis, 24 cans of Pepsis, 24 Pepsis, or we have bacon. And the bacon is 1.5 pounds. So 1.5 pound would be about 0.8, 800 grams, more or less. I think that's correct. Right? Yeah, 800 grams of a kilo. Okay. I'm not good with kilo, everybody. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Which one's cheaper, the Pepsi or the bacon? All right. And then number 5, popcorn, my favorite snack, popcorn. And we have another snack. It's cheese. It's mozzarella cheese with the bread on the outside. You put in the oven. I am really hungry now. Really hungry now. All right. Which one's cheaper, popcorn or the cheese sticks, the cheese snacks? All right. So Joel and Mauricio, I need you guys to help me in a minute. I want to see what people are going to say. All right, everybody, you have your 5 answers. Now, at this point, if you were really my students, I would put you in a breakout room right now and discuss that. And I think we have time to do that. I'm going to do that, Joel, okay? I'll try. All right? Here we go. Let me try.
Let's try.
I'm going to try. So everybody, I'm going to put you in the 5. You're going to have maybe like 3 minutes in your group and to decide which, do you agree or disagree with what the person wrote? All right? Let's try automatically. And we're going to create, what is it, like 20 rooms? How many is that? Oh, that's good. Let's go to 22. All right, good luck, everybody. I'll see you back here in about 4 minutes. Good luck. Everybody, please go to the room. Which one do you agree or disagree with the other people in your room about which one's cheaper? Thank you. Okay, I'll see you back here in about 4 minutes. All right. Darlenis, I like your dress. Okay. Okay.
You have people. You need to click where it says join breakout rooms. Click on that link. Okay.
Thanks, Joel. Yep. I think or some people. Okay, now we're getting better. Now we only have one screen. We have less than one screen. Yes, it's shrinking. It's shrinking. It's shrinking. Okay.
Yeah. We have
Okay.
71 participants.
Okay.
So now they are joining in their groups. So
Cool,
you have
okay.
to click where it says join breakout rooms. Click on that, and then after 3 minutes, you will come back. So don't worry.
All right. How are we doing here? All right. So a few people. Yeah. If you're still here, go ahead and click on the link that we sent you. It says join a room, and go to that room, and they will tell you what to do when you arrive in the room. Jarell, how are you doing there? You good? Good. Cool.
So what
Okay.
you have to do is just click where it says join breakout room, and then you will be assigned to working in small groups. Okay?
Okay. So, Juliana, did you not get a room? I think, let's see, did you?
I got a room, but she didn't tell me anything.
Oh, just go to the room. Oh, you didn't say anything?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was talking to her and I said, can you hear me? Are you there? But
Oh.
she didn't say anything.
No, I was the only person in my group, and
Oh.
nobody get in. No, just
Okay.
me.
Can I get a room with Dilsa maybe? I don't know.
Let me see. I might be able to. I'm trying to find you on the list here. So let's see. This is Juliana and this is Delisa. Let me find PK. Because we have so many people here. Oh gosh. I'm not sure what room it tried to put you in. There's 17. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try. Let's see.
Thank you.
Move to. Okay, she's in 18, 19. Thank you. All right. So we got. Did not join. Ismail. Oh, your Lenis is by herself. Okay, I'm gonna go to a room. I'm gonna go to a room.
I can assign you to a room number 1 if you want.
Well, put me in 7. Put me in 7 because 7's by herself.
Okay.
All right, and bring me back in 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Hello, Professor. Julie. Hi.
Mauro, I was in a room, but I was asking, I mean, can you hear me? Are you there? But she didn't say anything.
Okay, Julie, welcome back.
Since we are
Thank you.
here, let's
I'm here.
do it here. What do you
Okay.
have in number
Yes, because I
1?
didn't have companion in my team, in my
What do
group.
you have in number 1?
Nobody else get in.
What do you have?
In number 1, I have spaghetti.
I put pasta too.
Uh-huh.
In one pasta, yeah.
All right, very good, excellent. What about number 2?
Peanut butter.
Yes, I put peanut butter.
Me too.
Okay.
Number 3,
Number 3.
pizza.
Pizza, yes.
Pepper.
The oven pizza.
Number 4.
Bacon.
Bacon.
I put
Bacon
Pepsi. I put Pepsi.
Yes.
I
But they are how many cans? I don't remember.
24.
Like
24.
They were a
24.
bunch.
That's
They
why I
were
thought
fun.
No,
it must be expensive.
I think it's more expensive.
So, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the quantity of cans.
What about number 5?
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn.
Okay.
Okay. That's
What was the answer for number 1?
Spaghetti.
Yeah, we put the pasta.
Me too. Okay.
Joel, we are in the main meeting or in the breakout group?
We are in the main meeting.
Yeah.
Main meeting. Because some people
Okay.
go to the room, so we are in the main meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. So now we're gonna close all the rooms and come back. Are we back?
Okay, I'm back. I got my audio. Cool. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right,
Great.
let me share this again. Is everybody back now, Joel? We're good? Yep.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, good.
Yes,
So, all right.
there.
So what we did, everybody, just now. Oh, sorry. I'm not sharing, am I? I'm not sharing my screen. If I don't share a screen, this is the bad thing about you never know if you're sharing the screen or not sharing the screen sometimes, right? So, all right. So here we go. This was number 5 we did with sharing. Now, when you finish, then you put people in groups. We did just now. We did a very short time. If I were doing this not on Zoom, but in a real classroom, I would do one at a time. I was like, turn to your right now. Okay, we have peanut butter and the pizza. Turn to one partner, discuss. Then we have 2 more products. Turn to a different partner. So each in my real classroom, each student will talk with 4 other people. So for example, the number 1, maybe Mauricio and I talk. And number 2, maybe Danilis and I talk. And number 3, maybe Maria and I talk. It's different every time. But with COVID, we can't talk to people even in the real classroom. Every place is different here, right? So let me show you what I will do. Now, I want to show you, people who teach Spanish use this. So when I do this workshop, usually, or not usually, but sometimes, I have teachers who teach in the United States. They teach English in a high school. They teach English in a kindergarten. They teach English in a university. And they don't know any Spanish. So I teach them 10 Spanish words. And I tell them, I want you to practice. And I want you to say, they don't speak Spanish. I want you to say, I think la pasta is cheaper than la salsa. You say, oh my gosh, it's broken Spanish. It's beginning Spanish. You don't need to begin with a big sentence, right? So which one's cheaper? And the answer here is the pasta. Pasta is cheaper than the salsa. In the chat group, yes or no? Did you get number 1 correct? Pasta.
Yes.
Pasta.
Yes.
Pasta. Okay.
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
I will
correct.
tell you. All right.
No.
All right. Teacher to teacher. Teacher to teacher. Number 1 is a little bit easy because they're going to get more difficult. Notice, not difficulter, more difficult. Okay. Number 2 was the soap and the peanut butter. And so I write this in Spanish. And they say el jabón para los platos, all right? Because they don't speak Spanish, but they're practicing Spanish. Is the pronunciation good? No, it's not good. Is it horrible? It's not horrible. It's beginner level. People will make mistakes. It's okay. Which one's cheaper here? The soap or the peanut butter? The answer is
The soap.
the peanut butter is cheaper.
Wow.
Peanut butter is cheaper, all right? I don't agree with that. Well, if you don't agree, you have to call the store because this is not my price. This is a price from the store, all right? On September 29th, 2020, all right? Number 3, pizza or una botella de vitaminas. Now, because I want to practice Spanish, they don't know about la pizza es or una botella or las vitaminas son. They don't know that. So that's why I wrote una botella, because it's going to be la pizza es and una botella es. That way it's the same. Because I cannot explain es and son, is and are to my students who are learning Spanish, because we're concentrating on one thing here now. Which one's cheaper? Sir, the answer is
The vitamins.
the vitamins were
Wow,
cheaper.
the
Yeah,
vitamins.
excellent. Okay, now in the chat group right now, 3, 2, 1, or 0. How many do you have correct right now? Type in the chat group. Type 3, 2, 1, or 0. Somebody has 3. Wow. So Mauricio, can you tell me how many people said they have 3? A lot of people or a few people?
1, 2, 3. Yeah. 3.
Okay.
3 so far.
Okay,
Sí.
hay dos cosas. Hay gente que son muy buenos para comprar, o hay gente que están diciendo mentiras. I don't know which one's true, okay? All right. Vamos a practicar mentiroso, okay? Okay, anyway. All right. All right, cheap. Now we have 3. Let's try number 4. Ready? All right, so next one, number 4 was, anybody remember number 4? What was it?
The bacon and the soda pop.
The bacon, yeah. We have 24 cans. We have una caja de Pepsis or el tocino, the bacon. All right. So which one's cheaper here? I don't know. All right. Answer is
The bacon.
the Pepsis are cheaper.
The Pepsi.
Pepsi are cheaper.
I knew that.
I don't know about Panama or Colombia, but in the United States, bacon, especially with COVID, because they have problems with the animals, bacon is very expensive. In fact, I cannot remember the last time I bought bacon in the store. It's expensive. So, all right, one more. Let's see who is going to have all 5 correct. All right, number 5. Ready? Number 5 was popcorn or the cheese sticks. I call mozzarella cheese sticks. Which one's cheaper? Ready? Answer is
popcorn.
The popcorn is cheaper by a little bit.
Yes.
Way, I'm
All
a
right.
winner.
Okay.
Winner.
So if you're a winner, talk to Joelle. Joelle will give you a prize, not Keith Folse, okay?
Oh,
No.
my.
No, okay. If I go to Panama, I will take you some peanut butter, okay? All right. Now, then I asked people, are you a good grocery shopper? How many were correct? None, or 1, or 2, or 3, 4, or all 5. All right.
We have 3 out of 5. All 5. Excellent. 3 out of 5. Yeah, many people mentioning good.
Okay. All right. I guess I have to believe them. Maybe. What do you think? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna believe what they said. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have such a short time. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to start. We only have time to start one more thing, maybe, Joelle, because we finish at 4 o'clock today, right? Yep. All right. Let me do one thing. Let me share this one thing. Oh, that's not the right thing. I'm sorry. Wrong page. I am so sorry. I have the wrong slide. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Don't save. All right. And let me stop sharing. Good. Perfect. All right. There was another thing here. I think we had one more slide, though, to show you about no, that was it. And then, Joelle mentioned the book, The Grammar Answer Key. The Grammar Answer Key has this grammar in it, okay? So there's 100 questions, 100 small specific grammar topics. It's usually 2 pages. Question, and then some ideas about how to explain it, something like that, all right? All right, let me do one other thing here. You know what? Let's do this. Joelle, I'm going to do something for many people said they teach children, right? So I'm going to try to share with you in the chat. I hope it works. Oh, let me see. I have to. Sorry, I'll upload for you. File. Can I do it? File. Your computer. I want to go to their desktop. Thank you. And I'm on desktop, and it's going to be called Song. All right. I just put a document in the. Everybody see? I put a PDF. I put it there. Now you don't need to look there, but I gave you the PDF. I'm going to share this with you right now, and so the PDF is for you for later. All right. So one of the questions that people asked me a lot was, Joel, can you see my screen now? It says grammar in songs.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now, okay. My gift for you is I will not sing. I cannot sing. So I'm not going to sing this song. I'm so sorry. But songs are a good way to learn grammar, to learn vocabulary. So people ask me several things that were connected. Number one, how do you teach grammar to children? Well, you don't teach grammar. Children don't want to learn anything. They want to do something. So you sing songs, you play games, you go grocery shopping. Ask your children which one is cheaper. They're going to hear you say, which one is cheaper? They'll hear you say it over and over. The game we just did, don't do all 5 at one time. Do it one by one. And then your students, they say, my students can't write the word for green beans. You don't need to write green beans. Just say, what is this? And they'll say something in Spanish and you say, green beans. Repeat after me. Come to class with the 10 things. You don't need green beans. Just go in your own kitchen and find 10 things. You can find a pen. You can find a cell phone. Don't give your cell phone to the student, okay? You can find hand sanitizer. It can be anything you want. Now, little children, no child wants to know the name for this in English, right? So choose something that's appropriate for kindergarten kids. It could be a t-shirt or keys or a game, cards, whatever it is. And then you ask them which one is cheaper, because kids have an idea about money. They don't get it correct, but they have an idea. So when you play the game over and over and over, and you repeat the same lines over and over and over, this is teaching grammar, right? I have a friend who's he doesn't know much Spanish, but you ask him Spanish, and I say his name is John, and I'll say, John, habla español, and he says, no tengo la menor idea. What? He doesn't understand what it means, but he learned to say no tengo. He says no tengo la menor idea. That's what he says in his American English accent, right? But he doesn't understand what menor means, or that even idea is idea. He just says, he knows the phrase. Little children will repeat everything. Kids will repeat. And people who sing songs, a song is already good because a song repeats everything over and over and over. So here we have a song. This song is probably the most common children's song in English. It's Old Macdonald Had a Farm, all right? Now, can someone sing that for me? I can't sing it, but Old Macdonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm, he had a
farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm, he had
here and a moo there.
E-I-E-I-O.
Okay, so there's you have the song.
There.
All right, so we have the song. So I know singing is difficult on Zoom because you can only hear one voice at one time. But this song has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines. But how many different words? Old Macdonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm is already there. He had is already there. A is already there. Cow, E-I-E-I-O. Then with and A is there. Moo moo and here, and everything else will repeat now. Oh, everywhere. It only has 15 words. So children are really good about repeating, and even if they don't understand, and they won't understand. Don't you have a song? I have songs in Spanish. I don't know what they're saying. I just like, it sounds cool. I don't sing it exactly right, but it helps you learn something. So what does it teach us? We have over here, this is for the teachers, A, B, C, D, E. Letter A, Old Macdonald was male. Can you find 2 words that tell you Old Macdonald was male? Which words mean it was a male, not a female?
His.
Yeah, his. So yeah, 2 words, he and his. So what I'm trying to show you is it's teaching you that and maybe if it's children, you have a picture of a man who's the farmer. So it's he and his. And how many times do you see he? I see he 1 time, and then I see the word his also there. Those 2 words. Now, letter B says the basic sentence pattern this is teacher. This is not for students. This is teacher. The basic sentence pattern in English is subject, verb, object. Similar in Spanish, right? Where do you see 3 examples? 3 examples we see. Number 1, Old Macdonald had a farm. Number 2, he had a cow. And number 3, at the bottom, Old Macdonald had a farm. All right, look at letter C. In English, singular count nouns need something in front of them. So in English, for example, like the word giraffe, jirafa. Giraffe by itself is not English. It's always a giraffe, my giraffe, the giraffe, this giraffe, one giraffe. In English, just like in Spanish, if it's a singular word, you have to put something in front of it, right? So how many examples do we have here? We have a farm, then we have, well, we have his, a farm, then we have his farm, a cow, and then a moo-moo, a moo-moo, a moo-moo, a moo-moo, a moo-moo, and a farm. That's 9 examples of that grammar point. It's this song, every song is super rich with grammar. Just choose a song that's easy for you to sing, okay? And your students will like, all right? Letter D. D is, how do you say en la finca? Él vive en una finca. Yo lo vi en una finca. Lo conocí en una finca. How do you say en una finca? Because you might say in a farm. In English, farm is not in. Farm is an exception. Farm in English is on. Look at line 3. And on his farm, he had a cow. So in English, we use in for everything except 2 things. En una isla, we don't say in an island. We say on. Why do we say on? Porque así se dice. Ya está. Te lo dije. Ya está. Okay? It's an exception. We say on a farm and we say on an island.
Very clear.
Yeah, that's it. It's just it. Every language has some exceptions, right? Like for example, I say con él, like con José, con él, con María, con ella, con María y yo, con nosotros. But if I want to say con and I want to say tú, I don't say con tú, I say contigo. Why do I put tigo? Because in Spanish, that's what you say. So tigo and migo are exceptions. You can't say con mi, it's conmigo, right? So it's an exception. You have to memorize. You have to memorize on a farm and on an island. But if you sing the song, you get it for free, right? All right, and then the next one, letter D, sorry, that was D, and then letter E is the past tense of have is had, not haved. And then we have the word had in line 1, line 3, and in line, I think 11 or line 10 near the end. So sometimes teachers, for today, people ask me, how do you teach all the irregular verbs in English? I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. How do you teach all of these irregular verbs in English? Well, here's what I don't do. I don't give my students a list of 50 words to memorize. That's not fun. That's actually horrible, because you can't tell me English is good, English is easy, and then at the same time, give me 50 things to memorize. Who wants to memorize 50 things? I'm learning German right now, I told you, and German has the same thing. The teacher gave me this sheet of 50, and I thought, I like you very much, but you're crazy. If you think I'm not doing 50, tell me from these 50 words, which 10 are very frequent. Teach me the frequent ones first. So if you look in the grammar answer key, there's a question about simple past tense irregular verbs. And it said, think about this for a minute. In English, just like in Spanish, there are thousands of verbs. How many verbs? I'm sure there are 10,000 verbs in English, just as in Spanish, there are 10,000 verbs. There are thousands and thousands of verbs. Spanish has 2 categories, English has 2 categories, regular verbs, irregular, right? So in English, regular would be ed. I needed, you needed, everybody needed. In Spanish, necesité, necesitaste, necesitó, necesitamos, that's regular, right? But there are these irregular verbs like, in Spanish, I'm always amazed. How can boy, yo voy a la tienda, how can boy change to fui? Por favor. What happened? Come on, please. You know this is a crazy one, right? English, we also have it. We have go, G-O, changed to W-E-N-T. Where's the G? Where's the O? It's gone, right? So every language is difficult. It's a little different here. But if in English, if we have thousands of these verbs, what percent of verbs do you think in English are irregular in past tense? I know we're near the end of this time, right? What percent is irregular? The answer, less than 1. Almost none. In the English language, in the grammar answer key, I explained, there are maybe 150 irregular verbs total. Now, you go to the internet, you'll have a list of 500. Those are verbs nobody uses, like from Shakespeare's time, okay? Please don't do that to your students. Please, please, please. Get a list of 50. There, and the yellow book has it, the grammar answer key. When you have a list, please don't start with 50. This is my last message today. Nobody knows your students better than you do. And I don't know what your students in Panama, in Chiriquí, in this little Catholic school on the corner by the river, I don't know what you need. No one knows your students and their English needs better than you do. Learning 50 words is not a real need. Okay, it might be a fact, but it's not a need. So you look at the list, you think, you know what? Let's start with these 10 verbs. Choose 10 and learn those 10 really, really well. Then learn 10 more or 5 more. You know, you have a whole year with your students, right? You don't need to teach this in one day because no one's going to learn it in 1 day or 2 days. So that's what I would do. I would do the most frequent things like that. All right. Joel, I think I've finished my time here. All right.
I'm going to stay with you until tomorrow if you want, because it is a great opportunity.
Joel, if you send me lunch, I will stay.
we are allowing 2 questions for you. Two
oh,
questions.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Go. Yes. Okay.
Two questions. 2 questions. You can open your microphone and you can ask 2 questions. 2 questions, or you can type your questions on the chat box. Some people are asking here about the book. We sell the book. You go to our webpage and you can buy in our this book is the one that Kid was mentioning. And you can find all Kids Folse books there, www.letspanama.net. I put it on the chat box. One question here is, what is the common tense we must teach? The common tense. That is a question.
Common verb tense. Okay, and that's a good thing. So it turns out I have done a lot of research of this. Now in English there are 12 verb tenses. So you've said, well, 12. Well, that's a long list. Spanish also has a long list. But in English and in Spanish, some of those verb tenses are almost never used. So the answer to this question is the Isis. So the Isis's question, which one's most common? It depends on whether you're doing writing or speaking. All right, those are very different. I mean, there's overlap, right? So I will tell you, if you're doing academic writing, I'll do that first. Academic writing, the top 3 are simple present, simple past, and modals. Modals. So for example, can go, should go. So earlier someone said, what about past perfect, what about future? Oh my gosh, more common than future, more common than present perfect, more common than past perfect is debes ir. Those modals are very common. I want you to imagine trying to speak Spanish without the verb poder. Mañana me ayudas. Mañana me dices, mañana, no, mañana me puedes ayudar. You need the verb poder. You can't speak Spanish without a disculpa. Okay, I'm going to Panama and I'm lost. Ay, perdón. Puede decirme dónde está el banco. Puede decir dónde está este hotel. You need the verbo poder.
Sure.
Can, should, could, may. May I help you? Those modals. Modals is a very small group. In English, there are really basically 10 modals, and we got 3 with M, may, might, must, right? We got 2 with at, should, and shall. Shall is not so common. We have the 2 C's, can and could, and we've got. I'm missing something. I'm missing a had better.
Should.
And will for the and would.
Would.
Right. Those are 10. But the top 3 things for normal conversation. Sorry, academic writing. Academic writing is going to be simple present, simple past, and the modals. Now, for having a conversation, it's a little different because by the way, 89% of academic writing is those 3 things. And this is it. In the yellow book, I explain this as well. So this is not my idea. This is from actual, we collect papers. We collect university papers and newspapers, and I analyze all the verbs, and we do that. So that means That means 9, roughly 90%, 9 out of every 10 verbs are those 3 categories. Please don't worry about past perfect. Forget it. Like past perfect is, and all the others, just forget it. Past perfect would be like had, gone. Había ido, right? Había estado.
Can I say a comment?
Yes, go, yes.
You know what's the problem? For example, I don't know how this works in other countries, but here you have to work by the book, and you have to cover all the units whenever you work at school. And if you don't finish with all the units, even though we know that this kind of tenses are not like the past perfect and conditionals and so on, if you don't finish, then the school is behind you, and you have to finish with that. And the students are crazy, and then they hate grammar, even though you're trying to make it fun, which is difficult. It's difficult. That's what I like, all the things that you have been teaching us, because we're trying to get ways in order to do it better, right? But real life is hard. It's hard because you want to teach them right. You want to teach them according to their level so that they can acquire the language as much as we can do it as a teachers. But sometimes they don't help that much.
No, and I 100% agree with you. So remember, I was saying about learner needs. So if you're in a situation where the government of the Ministry of Education says you must cover this material, that's a real need. It's I don't think it's a good need, but it's real. It's real.
Right.
And this is not just Panama. Every teacher at my university, I'm in a department of languages. I'm in English, ESL, but I have French professors, Spanish professors, and when they have a meeting, I hear people say, I'm teaching German 3 right now, and these students don't know the subjunctive. Who didn't teach this last semester? And I think, oh my God, nobody's talking about, can the students speak German? It's like this magic grammar list, like check. So what I would do is, you can't change the fact that you have to do it. So you cover it and just say it's not so common, because it's not common.
Right.
I mean, I really believe that you would be doing a better service to your students that after you teach simple present, teach more verbs, like vocabulary. For example, how do you say explicar in English? Explain. What's the past tense? Explained with ed, right? How do you say replicar? Replicate. I mean, my point is, so replicated. So the thing is, vocabulary, but the grammar, the tenses, someone asked me, okay, you're 100% right. I agree with you. All right.
Professor, we have the last question we have is, when can I correct my students' mistakes or my students correcting?
Number 1, when you know the answer yourself. Okay. If you don't know the answer, don't correct it. Okay. No. Okay, I'm joking here. Now, I'm training native speakers of English who don't know English. They know English, obviously, but they don't know why we say many or much. They don't know these things for English as a second language. And I tell the future teachers, here's a student paper, mark everything. And they say, if you can't explain it, don't mark it. All right. So what about correcting? It depends if it's writing or speaking. In speaking, I never stop a student and make a correction in the middle of a sentence. Absolutely never.
Right.
I think it's rude. It's number 1, it's rude. But also number 2, many people today wrote on the Google form, my students in Panama are afraid to speak English. They're very shy, whatever. This happens. I'm in a German class. You think I want to speak bad German out loud? No, but I know I have to do it to make mistakes. That's how I'm going to get better. So when people make mistakes in speaking, I listen, I don't say anything. So the person says, I have hungry, and I say, okay, oh, you are hungry? Okay, I repeat it correctly. But here's the problem. Most people don't even notice your correction. They just hear no. And so how do I change that? I can't, like for Mauricio, if you're the student, I would never correct you. Like, don't say that, say this. Here's what I do. Students do a discussion. They're talking in English, whatever, the shopping game. When we finish the shopping game, I go to the board and I'm going to write on the board. I will write 3 sentences that I heard people say. Not big sentences, short sentences. Keep it easy. And I'm going to make a task. I'm going to say, okay, everybody right now, here are 3 things I heard somebody say today. 2 of them are, but no, but don't make it all mistakes. 2 of them are wrong, 1 is correct. And so your job by yourself right now for 30 seconds, which 1 is correct and which 2 are not correct. Okay, 30 seconds. I wait in 30 seconds. Now, don't tell me. Get with a partner, get with somebody else and discuss. And also, I don't care if you discuss it in Spanish. I don't care. There is value in speaking in Spanish about the grammar. All right. I know people say don't translate, don't translate. I'm not telling you to teach English in Spanish. The reason people say don't translate is they're afraid that you will teach the class in Spanish, right? Like, if you go to a Spanish class, I live 1 block from a high school. If you go to the high school right now to the Spanish class, I'm sure the teacher is teaching Spanish in English. That's normal. It's normal. It's normal. Okay. So it's going to happen. But Mauricio, the answer to this question I would say is that I always try to give students something to do that maybe their brain will notice the mistake. The number one thing that we teachers want to do is we want the students to notice the difference between what they say and what is correct, right? Now, on paper, it's easy. You see the pen everywhere. 83, okay? Why did I get 83? 17 problems, that's why, okay? But in conversation, we can't do that. The purpose of conversation, the purpose of speaking is not to get it correct. The purpose is to speak English, right? Will it be perfect? I don't think it'll be perfect. The goal is not perfection. The goal is English. The goal is Spanish. My future teachers who are teaching English conversation, I always tell them, you know how you know when you have had a good class? The students complain that they're tired of speaking English. Yes. That means you did a good job. Yes. Yeah. So try that 30-second activity, everybody, and call it 30-second activity. And now you teach the word second and the word 30 and the word activity. That's your thing. And students will, oh my gosh, now they feel a little pressure. You need to feel a little pressure sometimes. I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
All right, Professor, let's call it a day. Oh my goodness, wonderful.
Amazing.
Kid, I know you need to go and have lunch. Thank you very much. I know you have to leave. Thank you so much. And we stay here for the closing. I'm very glad. And again, thank you so much. And as you know, we in Panama, if you need to have his books, you need to visit our webpage, www.letspanama.net, or you can contact me, say 602-1789 or whatever, and we can talk about the books, and we can know. I think Elisenia from Rio Sereno in the border with Costa Rica, she bought your books and she got it, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she's here. She's here in the room. So people, thank you very much. Thank you, Kit. Thank you so much. It's been great. Every time we have Kit Folse, we want to have him for more than the time that we planned. So I told you this was going to be great, and you experienced that. So thank you, Kit. And we have plans with Kit Folse to bring it to Panama once this is better, to have
very soon, right?
Education.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. See you guys. Bye. Bye.
So people,
okay, Joel, sorry, I have to say goodbye as well. I have something to do. Like, Joel, I want to say bye and see you soon in another summer camp. Thank you for
everything. So now, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for thank you, Mauricio. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to everyone who collaborated, who supported us. And I want to tell you that see you next year in Colombia, right? Yes, next year is gonna be, in Colombia, in Santa Fe de Antioquia. So we will start thinking about that, and it's gonna be in a place called Santa Fe de Antioquia, in a farm. Farm. So it's gonna be amazing. and it's part of what we have been planning for this. Gonzalo Lisbeth, I love your that is from La Comarca, right? Beautiful. I used to be visiting a lot of Comarca schools when I was working for the Peace Corps. So thank you very much. And I want to tell you that part of what we do in every single activity, donations and social work, we do help people what are in need. And part of what you paid for this event is gonna be, we're gonna support an activity in thank you very much for sharing. It's been an amazing week. God bless you and see you next time.